ReefFresh
Zoom.
is sponsored by Derek's.
I can book
Derek's Reef Shop and the Fresh Shop. The show is also sponsored by Tropic Marin.
Episode 17.
Week 17.
ReefFresh with Chit Chat with Kevin and Derek. ReefFresh. It almost sounds like a cleaning product, right? Refresh your clothes. No, reef and fresh, because we talk about reef, we talk about fresh. So it's catchy. ReefFresh with Kevin and Derek. This is Kevin and Derek. If you guys don't know by now, but we're having a blast with this. This is more fun.
It's
what we doing these.
Actually, I was telling my dad yesterday that we do these, and he's like, "Oh, really? You do this?" And I said, "Yeah." And we talk about all the different things that that try to get good information out there.
That's the thing. It's getting good information out there, and that's the whole idea of this show, is trying to get as much good information out there for people.
Yeah.
So, that they do their research, that they do, they listen to the show and say, you know what, yeah, he's right about this, they're right about that. We try to be, we're honest, to be honest. We're not trying to, pocket money out of this. Like, we don't care if we're no YouTubers or big YouTubers. We don't care. It's just more about getting the information out there. That's all it is. And, it's people out there that want to throw some information out there with us. Shoot, hit us up. So
and don't forget, like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe to our show.
And if you have comments, leave the comments down there so we can see them. And if you have topics that you want us to hit, then.
And I think that since we're going to rename it ReefFresh, it's going to be better. ReefFresh Aquarium Chit Chat with Derek, Kevin and Derek. So, all right, let's go to our topic.
Okay.
So this week is my week. So we're going to talk about ick. It was a big topic on the St. John Facebook group. Actually, you're the one who pointed it out to me. You're the one who said, "Do not look at this." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I was just floored. You know what I mean? And it's difficult to do that because I'm a store owner. Because people kind of look at it in a wrong way.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to tell this to our listeners, and I may be a business owner, I may be a local fish store, but my heart is in the hobby.
Yeah.
My seriously, I'm not out there trying to say, you know what, I want to make all this money so I can go buy myself a Ferrari. You know what? If my wife is happy, I'm happy.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you talk about things like in the hobby and not like just go for cash, like just. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're hobby focused, then what you are is people are going to stay in the hobby.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
If you have a bad experience, you just say, "Oh, forget, I'm shutting it all down and I'm out of the hobby." Mm-hmm. Right? And that's not what we want. We want people to stay in the hobby.
We want people to stay in the hobby.
Yeah.
And that is the whole thing. And you know what? As a hobbyist, like I said, I have the hobby in my heart. But as a business owner, having that hobby in my heart promotes more business. In other words, the thing about this hobby, freshwater, saltwater, when it goes bad, you want to get out.
Yeah.
And my job as a store owner, I don't want you to go out.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a car salesman, you want everybody to have their driver's license.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got to sell more cars. So giving out, and the thing about this hobby is getting that information that is right. And you know what? And the thing is when it goes bad, you want to try to prevent that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we brought in our Caribbean order, and if every supplier would do what they do, like have their fish at heart, we wouldn't have any issues. If the airliners would do the same thing, if they would say, you know what, this is live fish in these boxes, this is shipping from Singapore to here or from Indonesia to here, they need to be on that plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's not enough space, take the suitcases out, because Buddy can wait for his underwear somewhere else, right? He can wait for his cleaner underwear, or he can go shop for cleaner underwear. But these fish are in bags.
Yeah.
and they're limited for oxygen. So the more delays, the more people like myself who order this stuff get more die-offs. And we're taking these fish out of the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pet lover. I love my dogs. I love my fish. So my job is to treat them the best that I can. With my dogs and with my fish. That's, you know what, I want to feed them the best food that I can. I want to give them the environment that they want. We talked about this on the other episode where I was talking about my dogs. You know, I did some research on my dogs and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, you watched that episode. But if everybody would have that mindset, couriers, store owners, the hobby would be better. And we would lose a lot less fish, a lot less corals, a lot less of everything. So let's get to the topic about the ick. Now, the thing about ick that people need to understand is it is a parasite. It is like a bug. It is like a mosquito, whatever you want to compare it to. It's a living organism that the only way that you can introduce it to your system is by putting it into your system.
Right.
You're introducing it to your system.
Right. When you set up a brand new system, there's no ick in it.
There's no ick in it. No, unless you're buying rock from someone else who had the parasite in their system. Then you're introducing that into your system. Right. So you need to shop wisely. In other words. You know what I mean? You need to ask these people. Have you ever had any health issues in your tank? You know, you go in there to buy some music equipment, and have you ever had issues with your tank? Yeah, I had ick, and blah, blah, blah. So then you go, oh, okay, well, I need to address this, right? So and the same thing goes to local fish store. If you go to a local fish store and you notice, you know what, that system has ick on it. You know, you're looking, you're familiar with it. You know the symptoms, and like that system has ick in there. Then you say, okay, that whole system has it. You know, they sell all the fish up. You go the week after, there's new fish in there. Well, what happens? That ick latches on. Right. You know, and you don't really notice that much. Well, there's some, you know, you may not notice at all on the fish, but it's on there. It could be just that one little speck, and you don't see it. The next time you bring it home, and poof, it blows up.
We should probably tell, like, the ick, what it does, it's a little grain of rice.
It's like a little, well, smaller than a grain of rice. And when I put it underneath the microscope, like I'll show that video on the microscope, what it looks like when you look at it. And it's small.
And it drops off and it goes into the sand, or it goes into
there's a cycle. There's a ick cycle where it finds a host. It needs a host. You know what I mean? It's a flesh-eating, blood-sucker parasite. And its objective is to attack the fish and reproduce itself. Right. So
it goes down into the substrate.
Yeah. So at night when the fish goes to sleep, so that's why you'll notice. You know what? Oh, why is my hippo tank or this certain fish is carrying ick, but the other fish are not showing it. Right. That's because that fish arrived in your system with ick or caught it. Now, if the fish is not stressed, but if it's weak, the ick will be more aggressive towards it. If you have a healthy fish, it may not go to a full bloom. It will always be present in your tank. The fish can kind of fight it off.
And we'll talk a little bit about that, about
egg management and egg
eradication. But the cycle itself, they go down.
But the cycle itself, So the fish goes into his little hiding spot. This is where he goes to bed. This is his room. So what happens? The egg falls off. And why does it fall off? It wants to reproduce. You know, it sucked it ate whatever it needs to survive, and it says it's time to reproduce. It reproduces, and that's why some people say, you know what? I woke up this morning, I looked at the fish. There's no ick on the fish. I think it's gone. Wow, that's not the case. What happens? The ick has not jumped on there yet. What is going on here? Just a second. Side. There's got to be a grain of sand on there.
Check that wet side. Yeah.
Check that wet side.
So anyway, it falls off, lays eggs.
It lays eggs, then, finds a host. And that's why I say, you know what? Okay, it's just this fish that has it.
But it goes
makes
through,
no like.
it goes through a swimming free lava.
Yeah, it goes to a free stage where it goes like it's looking for a host. It's hunting.
Now it's swimming, right?
Now it's swimming.
The eggs hatch.
This is when UVs will work.
Right. We'll
some
talk
other
about,
stuff.
yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, it goes to a free stage and it looks for a host. It's hunting.
Yep.
It's looking for a host. So that's why, like I said, you say, you know what, this fish has it. Then you know what, 3-4 days or maybe a week goes by. Oh shit, that fish has it now. And then it just starts rolling.
Yeah.
And that's when it goes to a full egg infestation.
Right.
And you're kind of stuck there. So the thing about egg, it doesn't. This is what happened. This idiot. Anyways, this is why we do this show. You need to be when somebody, you know what, you approach someone and say, you know what, I bought this fish from you, or you know, you bought it from a local fish store, you bought it from whoever, and you bring it into your system and you notice that there's ick on them. It's not because of stress. The fish will not just pop up because of stress. Right. That's the thing that people need to understand. You know, you need to be able to call the bullshit. So if you're saying, you know what, this ick is on this fish, well, it's obviously came from that system.
Right.
So, you know, some people try to point the finger saying, oh no, it's not us, it's because of the stress being in the bag. Listen, we received Caribbean, and I said this in a little video on my Facebook page, where you know they packed them on Wednesday, because I saw the new list up, and I called them. I said, oh, I noticed that you got this rainbow basslet. It's like, ooh, can you add that to my order? He goes, no, it's too late. So they had packed it. This was Wednesday morning. Yeah. They had already packed my order, which was shipping the next day, and we received it on Friday. Yeah. We drove. So if they were in the bag that long, and you know, because they were transported for almost 2 days, they would have been jam packed with ick. Yeah. So you got to be able to call that bullshit. Yeah. You know, and that's what pisses me off. And you know what? That's why sometimes I get involved in these chats on these groups, because I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. Like seriously, people, like you don't believe this. You know, and that's the thing. Like it doesn't just pop up.
No, it's a parasite.
It's a parasite.
It's a living creature.
Living creature.
And
same thing like flukes, trick nose.
Right. Yeah. It has to be introduced.
Has to be introduced
to the fish in order for it to have it.
Now,
so it's like COVID.
It's like COVID.
Nobody's been exposed to COVID, and all of a sudden somebody's exposed to it, and then it spreads from there. And because nobody has any immunity to it, it just keeps on spreading. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same as ick. Once it's in the water and the fish is in the water, they have no immunity to it.
Yeah.
There's no ick shot that they had, so they're going to have it. So wherever that fish goes, until it's treated or dies.
Yeah.
It has the parasite on it or whatever.
And your system is infected.
And the system is infected. So let's talk a little bit about.
Well, first, before we jump on that,
okay,
I just want to mention this.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, I'm just going to.
How many years you've been doing this?
How many years I've been reefing or keeping fish?
Fish.
Well, I started when I was 8 and I'm 53, so do the math. 40 years.
Yeah, he's got 40 years, and I've been doing it for 20 years. So this is 60 years of experience between you and I on this show.
Yeah.
So anybody who laughs says, oh, because that's what happened. I say, you know what? No, I've been trained to do
Bass Pro.
Yeah. I had, they came down here to train me how to treat fish, how to do the biopsies, how to do this. Anytime there's a fish that comes in, that, you know, if they say, you know what, we're bringing some new species in, you know, they've got some fish, anyways, whatever. I have to do the biopsies on these fish. We talked about this, about quarantine. I have to do the biopsies on this. I take those biopsies. I do the water testing. So I send the vet, a marine vet, not just a marine vet saying, here are my biopsies. Here's my water quality. They come back to me and said, okay, this is, you know, if I say, you know what, here's ick. We'll just say ick. And I say, here's ick. And they'll say, okay, you need to do this and do that and do this. Yep. This is in the spread of the quarantine system. At the end of your quarantine system, we want you to do another biopsy and send it back to us.
Yep.
So when somebody laughs at me and says, "Oh, you 20 years or whatever," listen, you know, it's just you have someone in the Maritimes who's it's not for me to brag, but you have someone in the Maritime who does that kind of stuff, and you shoot them down. It's just it's just being an idiot. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So ick management.
Ick management. Once you have it in your once your fish are in there, you have ick in your system.
Yeah.
There's certain
what do you do?
Right. What do you do? Right.
What do you do?
So
there's two options. Either you try to manage it, you know what I mean, so it doesn't go crazy in your system.
Right.
Right. Or you just go fishless, because if there's no host, like we explained, it needs a host. If it has no host, it's going to end up dying.
Right. So you can take all your fish out, which is a lot of guys do. They get all.
That's what I suggest.
Yeah. Now this is for salt water. You got to take all your fish out, and you can treat them with hypo. You can treat them with there's
different way. Humble fish, humble.fish.
Yep.
If you want, I have my own ways.
Yep.
Okay. But if you go to humble.fish, you'll see a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Where they say, you know what? Do it this way, do it that way, do it this way. Yeah.
So fishless, and then your system has to go without fish in it, without a host, for 40 days or so?
Yeah, 3 months. And you know what? Usually what I tell people is this, you do the 3 months, no fish. You know what? You already done 3 months. Add another month to it, just to make sure. You don't want to go through those 3 months.
Yep.
And then
reintroduce your fish now that they're good.
They're clean and free.
Yep.
But there might be a little bit left in that tank.
Yeah.
That hasn't died. They still had some energy in them. Anyways.
Yep.
So adding that extra month,
Yeah. Now fresh water. First thing you do is jack the heat up.
You jack the heat up. Yeah.
Get it up there about 86 or so, nice and high. 83.
Can't do that with salt water.
No. This is totally fresh water.
Can't do that
and
with
salt water. The treatment is totally different, just because the corals, you can't jack it up. If you had
inverse, even your fish, certain fish will not tolerate heat like that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at oh shit, I just lost it. Like your salt water.
Talk about heat.
I lost it. Anyway, let's get back. Fresh water. Jack the heat up. Is one course. And I want to talk a little bit about the cures that are out there.
The cures, isn't it?
Right?
Anyways,
there is no cure for the parasites. The only cure is
killing it.
You're right.
Killing it. Yeah.
You got to copper it, hypo. There's lots of different ways to actually get rid of the ick.
Yes.
But in your tank, if somebody made
a special herbal remedy that would kill ick, listen,
they'd be rich.
They'd be rich.
Because they would be everywhere.
That Spectra, whatever it is full of shit. It may do fungus. It may do certain. It's like a little wax coating that you put on your car.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like there's nothing that you can put in your tank that's going to eradicate.
No, exactly. It's like having a rust. Your car's got some rust. You know what? I'm just gonna paint that over that rust. What's gonna happen? Rust is gonna come back.
Yeah.
You need to take care of the rust. You gotta remove that rust out of your vehicle, polish it, finish it, paint it again. There you go. This is the same thing.
Right. And it's just, now when you get into management, management means you're trying to eliminate to minimize the amount that's in the tank. And UV sterilizers will do that because it takes out the swimming
freeze swimming stage. Yeah.
Right. The only thing is you're going to have to put all your water.
Yeah. So when you tee it off, it's like from your return pump going to your system, it's full blast going through there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's got to be big enough to kill them. The flow rate's got to be right in order to have the right flow rate to kill the. So anyway,
because if the flow rate goes too fast, you're not catching all of it.
Right.
Because it's a UV, so you get this bolt. It's going to zap everything. We already talked about the UVs, but the water has to go through it at a certain speed, so it wipes everything out.
Right. So and again, at Humble Fish, there is
Humble.fish.
Yeah. There's lots of things about ick management and ick ratification. So if you go to that site, there's some great stuff on there about it. right? So
Yes.
the biggest thing though is it doesn't go away and it doesn't get in your tank
without you introducing. That's why,
without
like we
being
say,
introduced.
that's why we're saying you need to quarantine your stuff.
Everything should be quarantined.
Everything should be quarantined. You know what? You go to this local fish store and say, you know what? I see some spots. I still want that fish. I've been waiting for this fish for a long time.
Yep.
They finally got it in this stock. You know what? I have a quarantine system. I'm going to purchase it. Try to make a deal. Say, you know what? Go talk to the owner or whatever. Say, you know what? I noticed that this. Would you make me a deal on it? Because
Yep.
I'm taking a risk.
Oh yeah.
You're taking a risk. So I say, you know what? Can I get a deal on this fish? I'll be honest with you. He knows it's sick. Don't tell me there's not an owner in there or an employee that doesn't know that fish is sick.
Yeah.
So they'll be saying, yeah, sure, you're going to quarantine it? Yeah, I'm going to quarantine it. You know what? If they have the heart for the fish as a pet, they'll say, yeah, you know what? This is a good idea. Let me give you a percentage off, and you'll be able to save the fish.
Yeah.
Because there's not too many stores that do that. And I'll be honest with you, 90%, even more than 90% of wholesalers are infected. Like I did an order with a supplier in Toronto, and those copper bands, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I did a biopsy, and I didn't see it on the fish. I did not see it on the fish. I did a biopsy, I was like, anyways. And, you know, I sent the pictures of the biopsy to them. And the first thing they said is, are you sure? Oh, you son of a gun. Are you serious? But the thing, here's what you need to understand, is that these suppliers, they get fish from all over the place.
Yep.
All over the place. So if they get fish that, you know, has been infected, it's going to infect their system.
Yep.
They're not going to shut down that system. They're just going to keep, they're trying to do the ick management.
Yep.
Where they're trying to, you know, let's run the UVs, put the UVs on 24 hours, blah, 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 blah. Okay? But they're trying to save it. But you know what? For them, the thing is like the ick is not full blown.
Yeah.
So they're saying, well, screw it, let's sell it. By the time they notice, they're really not gonna notice.
Yeah.
I do, because I do the biopsies.
Yeah.
I said, you little sucker, right?
Well, do you remember when we had, what was it, what we got in there? We had flukes or something.
Oof,
in our quarantine system.
I lost money there.
Well, we shut the system down though when we
totally. One of our episodes we talked about.
Did we talk about that already? Where we Jabaxed that whole system? And
you. How do you call that? We cleaned out the system. You know, we talked about an episode what you need to do: sodium thiosulfate, alcohol, and a high calcium dip. So we had to do that because the same thing, like those flukes are like a flatworm. They're like see-through.
Yep.
And it's very hard to notice. Like you do a freshwater dip on them, you see them fall, and you see them in the bag, and you're like, oh my god, I had flukes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same thing. I dealt with that supplier. I said, bro, your system's full of flukes. Like I totally wiped out some of my contract tanks because of this flukes. So I lost like over 10K because of that.
Yeah.
Because I include all the livestock with and that's why I like doing this quarantine and stuff.
Yeah.
So I lost that, and then I sent it to him. I sent the video of me, like the bag and the flukes falling off. I said, bro, and he wouldn't do anything. I had owed him like $3,000. So I'm not here. Because I lost a lot, and I just stopped ordering from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's the way. So anyway, yeah. So I think we beat that all to pieces.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You need to make that decision. You go to your local fish store. You need to do your research. Okay. And if you notice something on the fish, your best bet, if you don't have a quarantine, your best bet is, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. Now, knowing that, if you come to my store, you see that system here. If you come in here and say, oh, the fish are sick. You come back next week and I didn't do anything about it, you're still sick. Okay? Now, if you're a proper store owner or whatever, and you say, you come in and you notice, oh, Derek, why is that tank all stripped out? There's no more water in there.
Yeah.
That's because I'm doing the right thing. I'm cleaning it, make sure there's no more infestation in there. So if you go in there and he starts seeing the same, it makes no difference. He's got a new order going in there, and he hasn't done anything to manage or eradicate the infestation. It's going to be in there.
Yeah. Now, even yesterday, I actually bought some tanks from a local hobbyist.
Yeah.
And I'm 99% sure there's no issues with them.
Yeah.
But they're still in my quarantine today.
You gotta quarantine.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you need to quarantine.
And I'm not saying anything against the guy or anything like that, but
It's you know what? Quarantine is not. It's not expensive to do.
no.
It's smart to do. You know, because you put a lot of money in here.
Yeah.
You know, and you lose all of that. Next thing you know, you're out of the hobby.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need to quarantine.
Yep. So I know the guy personally, but yet
You still don't chance it.
I'm not chancing it. No, I'm putting
Why
them in
play
there,
Russian roulette?
And if I'm going to watch them, and I'm going to take care of them, and I'm going to, and if anything pops up, I'll deal with it in there.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of if anything pops up in my display tank, you know what my display tank looks like, and my fish in there. I ain't tearing that apart.
No, it's like me. I have to tear all this apart because I got ick in there or something. Oh my God! It will just be terrible.
Yep.
And what do you do with all your live rock and your corals and all that? Because it can be on there. What can you do with your snails and your hermit crabs? It can be in there. If it's free floating, it's in there. It's not going to affect them.
Yep.
But you're introducing it to your tank. So if you go to a local fish store and you're buying corals and you see a hippo tang in there that has ick on them, guess what?
Yep.
The corals in that system are infected. If you go to a place where all the inverts are with the fish, if that fish is sick, the inverts have it in them.
Yeah.
So if it got to that stage where it's free floating, like we talk about that stage where it finds a hook, blah blah blah, it goes in that free floating stage, it's all over the place, right?
Yeah.
That's why my inverts here, like these 3 tanks right here, only fish that go in there are what? The tank raised. Tank bred, not raised. Tank bred.
Well, usually right now it's only the fish that you want to keep.
Yeah.
Because I keep trying to get that one over there, and you're like, no.
No, but I mean, this is Pro Aquatics, that is ORA, and that is Seed Reef. That's the only fish that go in there.
Yeah.
So I put my inverts in there, so I know that if someone comes in and buys snails, they're not going to be infected with ick.
Yeah.
So that is my responsibility. I have a responsibility for these fish and for other people who are buying the fish from me.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it as a store owner.
Yeah.
So
Because you do 2 or 3 wipeouts, and you're out of the hobby.
you're out of the hobby.
And it's all because you picked up fish. And again, if we go back to the bottom of the issue, if you would have quarantined,
If you were to quarantine,
you wouldn't have all this issue.
You wouldn't
right?
have all these issues.
But not everybody can afford to do that. Not everybody can.
Well, it's not like expensive. Listen, look, I know you say not everybody can afford it. Okay, I understand that. But it's gonna if you're smart, it's gonna cost you less money
in the long run.
in the long run.
Yeah.
Sorry, the timer.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna cost you less money in the long run.
Yeah.
Because if you wipe out your tank, you lost everything. You lost a lot of cash.
Yeah. How are we doing on time?
We gotta restart this.
Gonna restart it? We're going long today.
Oh, it's a big. It is a big topic. Like we're talking about, ick. It's a big infestation. So.
All right. Well, let's get on to
Fish of the week.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you
I'm done.
sure?
So listen, it's just.
So I don't have to listen to you the rest of the day. for all
No,
about
but I
this?
mean, if people
And I'll get
don't take it the wrong way when I say comments or remarks on Facebook. I'm there to help you. I'm here. Even if you're a local fish store, you know what? I'm there to help you. I'm not going to tell you my tricks, what I do.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be selling sick fish. The fish, your system is sick. Don't sell the fish. Do something about it. Be man up and say, you know what? Okay, my system is sick. I need to do something. I need to clear that out. I need to quarantine the fish. Either do hyposalinity or raise the heat or whatever.
Yeah.
I like hyposalinity.
Yeah.
So that's when I have a beef. It's that kind of stupid.
And again, Humblefish
Humble.fish.
has
Humble.fish. They have a lot of information on there. This is Kevin's Fine. I don't have time to go on forums or anything like that. So this is Kevin's Fine. He finds all this. He does a lot of research. Okay, fish of the week.
Right.
Instead of fish of the week, we're going to do an invert. Astrea snails.
Oh.
Why not?
Well,
I got
1,000 of them.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I sold a whole whack of them. I'm like, if I have like 100 left, that'll be it. Seriously. I got to pack some stuff for Halifax. I got to pack some stuff. Anyways. Astrea snails, yeah. Okay, they're from the Caribbean. They're a great algae grazer. They will attack hair algae. Like seriously, like you have a hair algae problem, they will attack it. They'll go over your rocks. They'll go on your glass. They crawl everywhere. The only issue about them is if they fall on the side, or for some reason they can't right themselves up. Their foot is going to look. They're reaching out, trying to find something to grab on, and if they don't, they'll end up just being like a turtle on their back and end up dying on you. So if you have Astrea snails, you look in your tank and say, oh, he's turned over. Be a kind person, go over there, turn him over. You know, it's yeah, you're saving yourself a few bucks, and yeah. But if you start noticing like this tank, algae's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. So like the snails need to go. If not, they're going to start starving. So you need to, like some people say, how many per gallon? It's never how many per gallon. It's always how much algae do you have? Well, I don't have that much algae. Okay, well don't buy 20. You know, well, how about size is your aquarium? Okay, I got a 25 gallon. Okay, well, let's get 3 or 4, and that's it. Yeah. And the thing is that you know once you get the 3 or 4. You say, oh, you know what? They cleaned it out. Okay, good. Don't get any more. That's fine. Yeah. But you start saying, you know what? It's been 2 weeks. I still have some algae issues. Get a few more. Yeah. Plain and simple. Easy. And they're the cheapest now. Like, to be honest, like, I pay really dirt cheap for these. Yeah, for your buck, you get a good snail for your dollar.
Oh, yeah, it's a good snail. Yeah.
It's a good snail for your dollar. The only thing is, like, if you put any, like, competitive hermit crabs, where like the blue-legged hermit crabs from the Caribbean, they look at that snail and they say, "Ooh, that's a new house. Yeah. I want that bigger house." So he's going to go and attack your snail. So that's why if they fall on their side, the hermit crab's going to come over and he's going to start chewing on them. And
now we have snail shells that we give for free. If that we give for free,
yeah. Kevin says them. I just throw them in the garbage.
People come in. How much do I pay you for these? I'm like, put them in your pocket. Get the hell out.
Yeah, just don't forget them in your pocket because we didn't ask to wash them, so your pocket is going to smell.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Tetra. Get about an inch.
They like the school.
They like school. Oh, Tetra's pretty much like the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, more eyes looking out for...
I enjoy that. I like a schooling bunch of fish. I find it wakes up the aquarium. I mean, when you see a lot of movement there,
I remember mine with my silver dollars.
Yeah.
You thought that was how they all went together and moved together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice when you see a nice shoal like that. But the neons are for like smaller tanks, and you watch what you put them in because they're smaller fish. So I know some people.
It could be lunch for someone else.
Some people like put them in with angels, and I always tell people you can put them in for angels, but once your angels get bigger, you'll probably start missing a few of your neons. It's just one of those things, right? Angels and neons will go together, yes, but if
he says, you know what, you fit in my mouth,
right? Then chances are they're going to try it.
They're going to try it. And they get the taste for it.
Yeah, it's like, you taste pretty good. Try your friend. But yeah, so I mean, they're nice little, like you can put them in big tanks. I mean, I've seen tanks like with like 30 neons in it, like, you know, and then when they move together, it's a nice show. So yeah, so you try to get, you know, as many as you can for your size tank. They want to get an inch and a half or so. They're not a real big fish, so they look nice, a nice shoal. Easy to take care of. They like normal parameters as all other tetras in your tank, so they're not that hard to take care of. And they're not that expensive.
No, they're cheap fish.
Yeah.
Usually, when we bring them in, holy shit, they put like 100 in one bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fish of the week for fresh. Just doing the neon tetra.
Cool. All right, so next is product of the week. Now, Because we haven't had a Zoom call and I've been lazy. Yeah. So we're gonna release this video. Now this is episode 17. There's still 13, 14, 15, 16 that we haven't uploaded. So I'm gonna upload this video.
Winston, get at it.
Yeah, Winston, get at it. All right. My product of the week is actually the Zero Light. Now you can buy. There's probably other companies that make this. This is from Orphek. It's a blue light. You see here. It's a blue light, and it's really made to when you go to like frag shows or whatever, and you want like this is almost like a 20K. So most people set their reef tanks to a 20K. So if you get to a show and they really got just blues on, it's just too much. What happened is like they're putting makeup on these corals by putting the blues, so it makes it more appetizing when you look at the coral and the colors are popping. And what makes the colors pop is the blue. But you take this when you go to a frag show or whatever, and they got these blues. I'll say, all right, this is 20K. I want to see what it looks like under 20K. So you take this and you put it over the coral, and you kind of see what it's going to look like in your tank. But the reason why this is the product of the week for me is this is a great tool to find ick. So if you go to your local fish store and you go, put that on that fish.
There's a white dot there.
There's a white dot. This is gonna bring it out. So this is a great product to do that.
And then you do it like I do them on at night in my tank. I go in because there's different little creatures and stuff that come out at night. And I go and I just kind of.
I use it too when I feed my corals. You know what I mean? When I go like Tuesday nights, I usually go see a movie. And I come here around 1 a.m. and I feed my corals. So I look for the tentacles. So I go, I take my light here, so it doesn't spook everybody out. You know, if you get a big bright light, the fish, you can be jumping out. What the hell is this, right? But this nice blue light, you take a look and start feeding your corals. So it's a great little tool to have. If you like really enjoying your tank, you know what I mean, you want to look at stuff. This is a great little tool. I only have 2 of these left. But I bought this at Magna Show, I would say 6-7 years ago. And what happens when you go to the Magna shows? No one wants to bring product back. They'd rather sell it right at the show. So everybody's starting to pack. So I walked up to these guys. I said, "How many of these you got?" "We got about 70 or so." I said, "How much for all of them?" And I brought back like 70 bags. So this is why I only have 2 left. We sold a lot, so figure how many I sold for. Because they usually retail. They retail, like I got them for $59. I think I pay like $10 a piece.
Should edit that out.
I should edit that out. But I mean, because that's when. And the same thing when you go to these Magna shows and say, you know what? No one wants to pack the corals back. They want to sell it. So that's when you can wheel and deal.
That's when I was trying to get that Australian tusks. Remember that tank that had the tusk in it? And I'm like, if I could only get that across the Canadian border. Oh, do we got time to tell the story about my coral coming across the border from Magna?
What do you mean?
What?
Did you smuggle that?
No. The guys from...
the dry ones, the fake ones.
The guys from... If you guys watch...
The movie,
if you watch Tanked, Denny on the show, the guy that makes all the props, he was at Magna and he had some of his fake coral there.
See, here's the thing. Like Kevin, when he goes to these shows, he's like a little kid.
Hey, what's up?
He's like, "Oh, Derek, this is Buddy from the show from Tank, where he makes all these props." I'm like, "Okay."
Hey, he was gonna hire me.
He was gonna.
Remember that? He says, "I could hire you. I could use you in my shop." And he goes, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Canada." And he went, "Oh." It's like,
anyways, it's funny to watch Kevin.
Anyway, so
if he doesn't run for a cigarette, he's running. So this guy's that. This guy's that.
So anyway, I got this coral that was fake coral, and I packed it in my suitcase. Derek and I hit the airport, and you know how your luggage comes through the X-ray and all that. So I was waiting for my luggage, except for it didn't come through this way; it went over that way.
That's because they flagged it.
And the guy says, "Is this yours?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Come over here." I went, "What the hell did I pack in my suitcase? Like, thinking,
did I put too much? A big bottle of shampoo or
did
something?
they find the cocaine I put in there or what? But anyway, so I went over and he said, I'm going to open this. I said, open it. I don't care. Like, anyway, he goes through and he takes out the coral and he's looking at it. Go, okay. And he thought it was live coral.
You thought it was live coral? Well, you know what? I had that issue. No, I didn't have really that issue. I was coming back from Reefpalooza in Florida, and I had all my clownfish with me. So I had to do my paperwork. So I got to the border agency. You know, as I said, well, I need to do my paperwork. You know what I mean? My duties and all that. You know, so I'm standing there. You know, and my daughter was young, and she's like, she thought we were going to jail, right? So she's like white as a ghost. And anyways, but what happened is this couple behind us, like there was like rows of like a table where they open stuff up and stuff like that. Anyway, so the next table, this guy here, anyways, he got caught with dope.
Oh, really?
With dope in his hat. Yeah. So I was like, anyway, so we're talking, and next one they take
him away.
They take him away. So I asked the border agency, what was all that about? Because he was hiding. He came from Jamaica, and he had hid all the dope, whatever cocaine, in his hat. And I said, how'd you guys notice? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He goes, because it was on his skin, because it was going through his skin, and it was making him sweat.
Okay.
It was making him sweat. So listen, if you think you can cross the border trying to smuggle something,
these boys are sharp.
These boys are sharp. Plain and simple. They know all the tricks in the trade. So, anyways, that was an open. We can say this was an open discussion.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. So I couldn't even smuggle fake coral across the border. So I don't even think I'm going to try live coral.
No, you don't try that. Seriously. Well, you know what? If you ever Google, there's a store in Toronto. If you ever Google permits or something like that, border crossing with corals or whatever, there's a store in Toronto that got caught.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and what they were doing, they were ordering fish in, and they would hide the corals within the fish, like the bag.
Yep.
Anyways, the border agency, like you say, you know what? You may be able to go through. They may not check your stuff.
Yeah.
If they start opening the boxes up, they're not going like this and
Yeah.
going back in. No. They were going like
going
when
to
they
the
decide.
bottom.
Well, yeah, they were going through the whole. They'll take the whole styrofoam box, look underneath. So, listen, you don't play that game.
No.
Anyways, he was hiding corals between like the fish and stuff like that, and he got fined for I think it was $25,000.
Wow.
And you lose all your stuff there.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting that back. You losing all your stuff. You got to pay the fine. Not that you're flagged.
Yep.
What I mean by flag, you got a red flag. Every time you cross the border,
Yep.
you know, you're giving them your passport. The border agent says they look on the computer. Boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
Plain and simple. That's what happens.
Yeah.
That way, there you get that hassle.
Yeah.
You'll be not strip searched, but they'll put the hand right up your ass. You know what I mean? So it's not something to try. Just don't do it. Just don't try. Like some people, I see some on the forums where people say, "How do I bring corals across from going to a Macna show or a Reefpalooza show? How can I bring frags back?" Just don't. Don't. Especially corals. You need CITES permits for this.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the permits, you're in deep shit.
Yeah. All right, we're getting off topic.
Off topic. Okay, next one is pay to learn.
Oh, okay.
Pay to learn. Pay to learn. Obviously, because of our topic, we're talking about ig.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I talk about this flashlight. This is our product of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go somewhere, you want to buy fish from somebody, or you go into a local fish store, if you need to inspect. You need to be Inspector Gadget and look at the fish that you really wanna.
Yep.
Now, if you
see the fish eat, that's a good.
Watch the fish eat. If you even know, you know what? Listen, like you go to a store owner and say, you know what? I'm really interested in this fish. I know you just received it a couple days ago. Do you mind holding it for another 5 days or whatever?
Yep. And
And even if you put a little down payment on it, I wouldn't mind.
Yep.
It all depends on the owners.
Yep.
But you know, some of them say, no, I need to get rid of them because I don't want them to get ick or jump out or whatever. So you need to inspect. You know, go there every day or whatever. It hasn't been sold. Just inspect the fish. See how he's eating, how he's reacting. If you notice a fish, he's going down to the bottom, we call that flashing.
Yep.
Where he goes down and he rubs against a rock, against the bottom of the tank. That means he's got a parasite on him that he's trying to remove.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bugging him. So, yeah, it's just, take your time, shop, look, and have that little flashlight of yours.
Yep.
Now, if you bring this out and you go to the local fish store and you start looking at fish, the owner is going to say, okay, this guy's, he's an experienced hobbyist. He knows what he's doing. Don't think that you're being an asshole about it. You're just being a wise shopper.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind someone come in here and bring a flashlight and say, can I look at your fish? Hey, bro, go right ahead. This is nice that you're able to do this. That you've done your research and you're shopping wisely. So that is my pay to learn.
Yep. Cool.
You want to add anything on that?
No. Just make sure your fish is eating. If it's a fish that's supposed to be out swimming, it's out swimming.
Yes.
Because if it's hiding, then that could be a bad sign, right?
Mm-hmm. Could be bad. Well, it's not just because it's hiding. If you're looking like the royal grandmas, they like to be in a hole of a rock.
Yeah.
But if you have a tang that's being really shy or whatever, he may not be used to seeing human people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I took a video of that basslet, that peppermint basslet.
Yeah.
It's like I took my phone out and he just stayed there.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, wow. So he could have been at the wholesaler for a while, got used to seeing people walking by and stuff like that. But yeah, just be careful. That's all. Just
shop wisely.
Shop wisely. All right, next is the support local fish store. I just got a 2 cents to say that. That's all. I don't know if I said this already or not, but I just want to say, try to create a relationship with your local fish store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's between the staff and the owner. You know what I mean? Don't just try to have that relationship.
Yeah.
If you want deals or whatever from this, you say, you know what, bro, like someone that comes to my shop and buys a lot from me, and comes in and he goes, you know what, I like to get this or I like to get that. There's times where I'll say, you know what, here's a frag. You know what I mean? Grow that in your tank. Try it. See if it's gonna turn out good.
Yep.
And so creating that little relationship with your local fish store, to me, is important.
Yeah, the same as the hobbyist I bought those fish from yesterday. He knew who I was.
Okay.
From being around here, so he knew that I was going to take good care of his fish, and he was happy that I was getting them. So
yeah. Well, it's good. Yeah, it's good because then you get some good information, and like the store owner will say, you know what, listen, I'd rather you not buy this fish. I'm not 100% he's ready yet.
Yeah.
So, just leave him there, and when you create that relationship with the store owner or his local fish store, it's good.
So support local. And support your local. What's it? ReefFresh. Support
your local ReefFresh.
Support your local ReefFresh.
ReefFresh. All right, awesome. Thanks.
See you next week.
It's time to start packing some orders.
All right, you pack orders.
I need 5 chromas.
What are you telling me? I don't start till noon.
Oh, Jesus.